Alrighty guys, it's the next day, obviously, it's daytime, and I realised I kind of cut short the video that I did last night, where I was doing the intro and a quick kind of playthrough to get people understanding what the Tabletop Simulator version of the Western Empires is. And I was thinking to myself, there's a few things I wanted to actually show, like building a city, attacking a city, etc., and just kind of show you not just the edge cases, but just actually work my way through it. So I thought I will do a second video going to about turn 6 or 7, and oh god, I hate that, and playing through that just so you guys can see. So let's just load up a brand new game, and we'll go workshop. Alright, close that. Alrighty, so it's a new game. We'll just do a 5-player game and basic. And actually, sorry, this is a good time to quickly show you all the different cards. So for those who watched the first video, I was talking about kind of cards and trading and things like that. Well, these are the cards that's in the Western Empires game. Eastern Empires has slightly different, but in essence it's the same concept. You've got cards at level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so if you had, for example, 5 cities, you would get 1 card from this row, 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 and 1 card from this row. And then, as you can see, you're trying to get sets of the cards, and they're worth exponentially more. And then every row, in essence, has these kind of problem cards. They're called calamities. In a 1 to 8 player game, it's just these two, the major calamities. Some are non-tradable, as in they can't be traded in the trading phase. Some are tradable, and you can purposely trade them, and we'll talk about exactly how you do that. In the 9 player games or above, you also have these minor calamities. And some of these are actually more painful than these. And the fun thing about minor calamities is they can never be reduced, whereas major ones, you can buy technologies that reduce it. For example, pottery, you can prevent 5 damage through famine, and famine, if we have a little look at the card, you can see famine is a level 3 non-tradable, take 10 damage, and then you pick up 3 other players. So for example, here's famine. If you happen to get this one because you got dealt it, you can't prevent, you can't trade it, so you can't get rid of it, but you can prevent it through technologies. Whereas something like squandered wealth, or like any of these minor ones, these can never be reduced. So you, everyone's in general going to be hit by these most of the time, every turn. If you're me, almost every single turn you'll get 1 or 2. But it's capped, and we'll talk about that as we get through it. But anyway, you get the idea. To buy technologies, or if you remember my intro, you want to get technologies to keep on advancing through both score as well as to get the highest score at the end of the game. To buy technologies, the most efficient and pretty much, I'm going to say only way, is by getting big trade sets, buying some nice techs or lots of techs that then give you discounts for the future ones, and you just got to take the risk, in essence, that your trades, even if you do get traded some of these painful cards, that it's worth it from the money, in essence, that you get from trades. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you this before we actually started the game. Alright, so let's play through. Let's play through it. So as the intro, these are all the steps. They're on your cards here. And apologies if you hear a airplane. I live near an airport, and last night there wasn't too much, and I had the windows closed. This morning it's a bit hot. So what am I doing? Here. So remember, these are the steps. And then all you're doing is just going through these steps over and over again. And this scripting, so on the Tabletop Simulator version, it has the scripting, and these are the steps here. And you're just kind of clicking through. In person, you'll get someone like myself or anyone who's experienced in playing and helping you through these. So you don't worry have to about text. Generally, the first few turns, it's all about just expanding your population, which is doubling up the people, if you remember that. You click the census, then you go movement. Everyone does their movement. So we'll go here and here, and let's say Assyria and Hatti have bad blood. So let's see what happens there. Minoa just kind of sits in its own little space, and Hellas is going down to take over all of Greece. Okay, next. There's no combats or anything like that, so we can just skip straight to scoring. And then everyone moves forward because there's no requirements. So if you remember from the first video, you're going through these ages, and once you get past the Stone Age, you need to meet the requirements of, say, this one is at least 2 cities, and then this is the basic, and then you've got the expert, which is 3 cities, for example. You get the idea. Alright, so we've scored, and no tax because we have no cities. We'll go expansion, census. Census is, we're still all under 12 people, and for the first few turns we're like that. So this is turn 2. And the order, Minoa, Assyria, Hatti, Hellas, Egypt. This goes as per the census, and then any tiebreakers, if you remember, follows AST order. So Minoa is just going to sit pretty because they're stuck on their island. Hellas will just keep on going down, and let's move there. Alright. Hatti, so it makes a difference because we might actually fight. It's not that beneficial to fight, but let's see. So it's Assyria, then Hatti. So Hatti in this case, normally you would do things simultaneously, but in this case, Assyria moves before Egypt and Hatti, and so both Egypt and Hatti want to see what Assyria does before they do their business. And so Assyria has to make a decision, and they'll be a bit aggressive, but they're not going to attack directly. So we'll go like this, and we'll spread out here. And so Assyria is going, this is my land. Now, this is very dangerous because of how combat works. And so Hatti and Assyria, I don't know, maybe they're friends and they've got some bad blood between them in games, and they say, oh, that's not going to happen. I'm not interested in that. And so Hatti then goes next. So we remember the order. So Minoa, Assyria, then Hatti, and then Egypt is last. And so Hatti goes, this is uncalled for, and I'm going to attack you. And so they send their troops into these things, and I'll talk about that in a second. And this now, because the number, so each area can support that many troops. Think of it like as food, right? So if these guys were here, there would be no fight because there are 3 people, and this land can support 3 people, so there's no fight. But here, this is a 2, which means this land can support 2 people. There are 3 people here, which means now there is a combat that's been initiated. Same thing here. And so you can, share occasionally, but you can see here, so Assyria and Hatti nominally have to play good neighbors because this is what happens. And I remember when one of my friends, Rory, and I were here, we had to very carefully work our way how to kind of deal with this. Egypt now goes, oh, look at this. Assyria is very busy up there and is about to lose a bunch of their troops. I'm going to be quite aggressive in taking up a whole bunch of space. And so we go like this. And he or she will backfill all of this land later. And so now, Hellas and Minoa going, all right, that's all very interesting. See this combat? Now this highlights this combat. Now in person, you just have to kind of pay attention to it. And luckily on the Tabletop Simulator, the scripting means you can kind of just fight it and it will work it out. But I will step through kind of how combat works. And then when we get into a couple of turns, we'll talk about like some of the little tricks you can do. But in general, combat's pretty simple. It's whoever has the most amount of people in a combat. Now, if there's like 4 different people attacking, it always is whoever's got the most people hits first, and it hits everyone else in that group. Now, remember what I said in the first video, there's always technology that changes that. The most clear example of that is this one, metalworking. In conflicts, each round of token removal, all other players not holding metalworking get hit first. So if, for example, Hattie had metalworking and Assyria did not, Hattie... sorry. If Assyria had metalworking and Hattie did not, normally Hattie, who's got 2, would hit first and kill this one dude. But if with metalworking, Assyria would hit first, kill one Hattie, and then combat would stop because there would be 2 people left, and this land can hold 2. And up here, metalworking wouldn't make a difference because Assyria would hit and kill one Hattie, but there would still be 2 people left, and this is a 1, and so the Hattie person would hit back and kill the Assyrian. So I just want to show you again, this is why this game is always replayable, because there's different technologies you can buy, different timings of things, a little bit of luck, a little bit of working with your neighbors. And some games you can go super aggressive. Some games, like if Assyria had gone straight down, then this would be a passive game with Hattie and a different game with Egypt. It's always fun. Like I love this game. Anyway, so let's just do the combats. So in this case here, Hattie would hit Assyria first. So let's just take them all out. Sorry, I muted just because there was a big plane coming past. So let's go like this. Pretend this is in-person game. So Hattie with 2, Assyria with 1. Assyria gets killed, but dead. And now Hattie has 2 left over. 1, 2. And this is a perfect example of what we will demonstrate with the surplus and city support stuff that I was talking about in the first video. And so this Assyrian person goes back into the stock. And if you remember from the first video, everyone has 55 stock to play with, and that is split between treasury, which can be used to buy technology, to upkeep boats, to build boats, and to do special abilities. And then the other stock can represent people on the board. Let's do a fight here. So yep, Hattie has 2 guys, 1, 2, and Assyria has 1. Alright, Hattie hits and kills the Assyrian because he's got 2 to 1. Assyria dead, and then Hattie has 2 left over. And we'll go 1, 2. Alright, so big combat happened. Assyrians are down to the Stone Age because they've now only got 2 people, and everyone else has got 4. And you can see by doubling, they've put the Assyrians, by kind of being aggressive here and then getting smacked back by Hattie, have put themselves well back. They've literally, because next turn it'll be 8 and these guys will be 4, so they're a whole turn behind by having that happen. Now Hattie aren't carefree, because once we get into the surplus, Hattie are going to lose 1 of these dudes because this land can only support 1, and they're going to lose 2, so these Hattie people will go to 6. Everyone else will have 8. These guys will have 4, and they'll have 6. And that means these guys are, in essence, lost 1 turn as well. So combats, while interesting and fun in this game, this is not a combat game. It's not exactly like Risk or anything like that, where the whole point is combat. You can be a super pacifist in this game. You're not guaranteed to win that way. It's not the most efficient strategy. You do sometimes have to actually punch people because the way this game is balanced is almost everyone has 7 to 8 city sites in their natural border. So if you have a look at the rules, and I'll just draw them. So in the rules, I believe Assyria is like this, and here, like that. And so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? and everyone can build up to 9. So you either build a wilderness city to make your 9, and then you have just enough to support that, or you start pushing out a little bit. Egypt, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But 4 of those cities is on this floodplain. That's why they're white. Which means if you get the flood card, and I'll just quickly drag this over here. So if you can see here, flood, you take 15 damage, and it kind of kills a whole bunch of cities and people. So this is why cities on floodplains, they're not the most friendly of them. Same thing with the volcanoes. There's a volcano calamity. It's the number 2 one, and it comes usually every second turn. And if you happen to get that and you build a city on the volcano or here, you pretty much lost those 2 cities or that city there. Same thing here in Rome. Anyway, so yeah, everyone's a little bit stuck for having their 9 cities. The Celts, they're terrible in how many they have. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They only have 5 natural city sites. And then they have to do wilderness cities, or because they get the most amount of land, like as per the rule book, so it's something like that, I think. Yeah, something like that for the Celts, right? So a huge portion, but it's not particularly strong land, and they've only got 5 city sites. So you get the idea. Every civ has something different, and their own challenges, their own neighbours, their own play styles, and then depending on who's actually playing it, if they're more of a pacifist or an aggressive player, or just chaos, as Rory likes saying. So let's go. So we've done combat. Next, city conflict, no cities. Now population surplus. So now we will check at this moment if there's any people not passing their population. So this is 2 to 1. So this one can support 1 and there's only 1. This can support 1 and 1. This can support 3 and there's 2. This can support 2 and there's 2. You get the idea. We're kind of going through. Oh, whoopsie. This guy can support 1, has 2. So one of these guys dies. And he goes into the box. I'll fix that up. And in the TTS version, though, you can just hit burn and it removes it for you. But I'm pretending this is in person. Now you check for city support, no cities, but this is where you would check it. And everything else is done, so we just go straight to scoring. No requirements, everyone moves forward. Turn 3. And no tax. Let's expand. And census. So now we're going to see in terms of people, 8 people, 8 people, 8 people, 6 people, 4 people. So now they're already behind the early wars. Almost never are good. That's why working with your neighbor to work out where you're comfortable with is almost always better. And now Egypt is in a very pretty spot because they've now got, by pushing forward, and I will show you in a second, they'll push forward now to here, and that adds 2 more city spots to their lands. And remember, their basic land was 8. So now they've got 10 city spots that they control, and if they just lock that down, they're absolutely sitting pretty. Then one of these city spots here doesn't have to be actual city, and so if they hit by a flood, they don't lose too much. Alright, so let's go see. Yep, we've done census. So now movement. It's now Minoa, Assyria, same order, AST, because we're all under 12. Once we go over 12, then it goes back to movement order. So Minoa's first. So this is the turn. So turn 3. We're now turn 3. This is the turn that Minoa has to take a step back, because if they do nothing, they will lose 2 people here and 1 people here. They'll lose 3 people because their island can only support 5 and they have 8. So they have to now build a boat to get out, which means they have to sacrifice because they have no money. So to build a boat, you need what's it called? Either money or people. And so a boat, to build a boat, costs 2, either treasury or people, and to upkeep a boat each turn is 1. So because he has no money, because there's no cities being built, that's how you get money, is through cities, he has to sacrifice 2 people. So we'll go 1, 2. Sacrificed to the boat building gods, and now you can get a boat. And when you sacrifice people to build a boat, you build the boat where the sacrifice happened. So if you had like lots of people, let's say you sacrificed a person here and here, you couldn't build a boat there. You'd have to sacrifice at least one person from here, and then maybe one here to build a boat there. Anyway, that's a little bit more advanced. Again, all of this is in the rulebook. If you peruse it, it actually spells it out really, really well. Anyway, so we're going to have a look here, and they go, all right, let's build. So boats, they hold 5 people and move 4 base. As I showed in the first video, that's always can be changed. And we want to land, let me have a think. If we go all bar one person, so we'll pick up 1, 2, and then these 3. So we'll go, let's go 5 people. So 1, 2, gets on the boat, and oops, and then 1, 2, 3. So let's do pen. So built here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or something I like sometimes doing is go here, build here, 1, 2, 3, 4. With the aim of building, once this doubles, not next turn but the turn after, building the cities here, so you don't have to worry about these anymore. Because these islands are fantastic, and it's almost always better to build cities on smaller numbers. There's different thoughts about this, but it's mainly the population numbers, the big numbers, support the cities. And so if you built a city here and you use this as your population, these 2 spots can support 1 city, right? So one person, that's 2 people. 2 people support 1 city. Whereas this 1 spot can support almost 1.5 cities, right? So a 3 can support 1.5 cities. And so it's better to have your people here and build cities here than the other way around, in general. Now, there's always exceptions. There's technology, for example, like agriculture, which I showed in the first video, which means all the 0, 1, and 2 get +1. And so now these 1s become 2s, and now it's almost the same. But almost always it's better build your cities on low and not on your big ones. Anyway, so we'll do it this way. So picking up people here, and going 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll drop off 1 person there. Okay, I just reminded myself why I can't do it this way. All that babbling, my apologies, guys. Because I've got 5, these guys can only support 3. So I have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Wonder how I did it the other way. If I bought 4 here, I'd have to still sacrifice 1. Pick up all 3. Maybe that's what I did in the past. I might have only done 3. 1, 2, 3. Because I remember in one game I dropped off there. But anyway, this is now getting really into the weeds, and I apologize. I'm just getting rid of that. Alright, so we'll drop off 2 here, 1 here, 1 there. So that's 4. Yeah, I still don't like this. If I want to do all 5, can I do all 5? I can. I mean, that was always this is one of the hardest ones to build because you're always behind. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it that way. Yeah, I like this. So we can drop off 2 here, and I'll drop off 1 here, and 2 there. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We picked up 2 from here, 3 from here, and dropped off the 5. Yeah, we'll do it that way. And now, next turn, I don't need to build a boat, saving a couple of people, because I don't like sacrificing dudes for no reason. And then the turn after, we'll look to build 2 cities here and here, and then we'll use the money for building cities to build boats, and then we'll fill this in, etc. Yeah. And by doing this, it also tells the Hellas people, hey, I can see what you're doing. This is my land. Can you stop it? Now Hellas is like, oh, I don't like what they're doing here, so I'm gonna try and be a bit annoying, and work my way, weasel my way, let's say. Alright, so Hellas is like that. Alright, we now have a peace treaty because Assyria is gone. Alright, I'll go down. However, Hattie says, because you were naughty, this is where the line is now. I'm going to keep this one for at least a few turns. And Assyria goes, okay, I'm sorry. So we'll go like this. And Assyria's like that. Hattie will start moving towards up here. So this is okay land. But as soon as you get, what's it called? Agriculture, this becomes your food, in essence. Like this is all the grain and food, all for your cities. And eventually you'll build cities all along here. And it'll be fed, in essence, by these guys up here. And let's move back like that and like that. Now Egypt, as I said, is laughing all the way to the bank, and saying this is now the new line because you were playing silly buggers upstairs. And we'll go like that, I think. Yeah, something like that looks nice. And then we'll start feeding up here in the next turn. Alrighty, so that was a bit involved, but I kind of showed you a whole bunch of different things for a movement phase, and this is all the fun things you can think about, because it's not just about how to do things efficiently, it's also, you know, what that would then say to your neighbors and how you want to position yourself. Alright, so next, no combats because everyone's nice and peaceful. Sorry, everyone passed on their surplus. No cards because there's no cities, and no text, so everyone goes forward because there's no requirements in this step. It is now turn 4. Alright, so we've got one more turn before cities really need to be made. Minoa gets because they have to sacrifice people, in essence. They get an extra turn to go through, and in the mega empires there's another civ that also gets an extra turn, even on the you can see here the expert version. Yeah, so Iberia gets an extra turn in the expert version. Alright, so yep, that's fine. No tax to do. Let's expand census, and now here we go. So census is now changed, so the people who have not been affected by loss of population, they now have 16. Everyone else, so Minoa because they had to build a boat, and Assyria and Hatti because they had a war, have been, they're a turn behind, in essence, in building cities, because 4 people at least reduction. Alright, so that's that. Next. So now it's Hellas is first, you can see here. So whoever is further along, and you don't necessarily want to be first, it's generally better to be last, so whoever has the most population on the board goes first, and then when it's equal, it's AST. So Hellas is 15, and then Egypt is 17. So it's Hellas, Egypt, Minoa, Assyria, Hatti. Alright, so Hellas is here. Hellas is talking to the Minoans, and Minoa says, hey, I want that one. Piss off. And Hellas says, no, in the book it says I'm meant to have this one. Alright, if you say so. And now I will show, I'm going to demonstrate the kind of the only gotcha in this entire game. There's one other one where you can get through, say, advanced military and naval warfare, but that is well into the game, and it's mainly through how you kind of deal with conflicts, and you can just pull from different people. I'm not going to get into that this game. If you ever do, by the time you buy advanced military, if you do ever do, you will know how to play this game. But in general, it's all about how you build a city. So if you remember my first video, building a city on a city spot here is 6 people. So you need 6 population. So Hellas is going first. So Hellas says, okay, I want to build a city here, because that's what it says in the rule book that I should have. I should have this. I should have Athens. And so I've moved 6 people onto a city site, and I want to build a city. That's what my intention is here. He doesn't want to invest in building a boat to put more people there to maybe defend any attack. And so he says, no, that should be fine. I'm going to move some people here and here. I'll put a person here. And I'll get ready to build a couple more cities next turn. But for now, I'm just going to... So I'll leave 2 here because this can feed 2. This can only feed 1. So what I might do is I might go like this. So this can go 3. And then I'll look to build a city here maybe next turn. Something like that. So Hellas is done. Next is Egypt. Egypt goes, okay, cool. Look, Assyria can't affect me if I draw my border right here. And so I'm going to build a city. 1, 2. 3, 4. Do we do it that way? Could we do 2 cities? 6, 2. I could theoretically build 2 cities, but I think that's a little bit greedy. So let's try and build this city later. And we'll go... So this can hold 3. This can hold 2. And then I can move down here. So let's go... it's for the most efficient doubling, you generally want 2. So population expansion, if you again read the rules, but population expansion, the way it works is you double up to 2. So if I had 3 people here, it wouldn't double to 6. It would get plus 2. So it would go to 5 people. So generally the most efficient way to double, to population expand if you want people, is to have 2 on everything. So for example, if I had 4 people here, because this is lots of wheat fields, it would double up to 2, so it would go to 6 population, not 8. All right. So I'm just having a think. So I want to build a city here, and then eventually here as well. So I'm just trying to think of the most efficient way to do it. And I believe I'm still going to have to do it inefficiently just to guarantee it happening. 3. And then we go 1 there, 2 there, and 1 here. So we'll build 1 city, and then next turn build 1 city here. And we might have to be defensive against this for what the Assyrians do. Now, Egypt can say, hey Assyria, I will stop at this line for now and not go past, and eventually you'll probably get this off me. And you can show good faith by not moving here to attack me. And so if you go here, for example, for 1 turn, and then I'll build the city, there's no way to stop me building the city. And so they might be able to deal with that and said, just as a kind of negotiation tactic. Anyway, so Egypt's done this, building 1 city here, everything else is nice and sweet. Who's next? It's Manoah and then Assyria. So Manoah could have been moving. So while this is all happening, so Hellas goes first, and then as soon as Hellas is gone, while Egypt is moving, Manoah can move, because even though the order is like this, Egypt and Manoah are not interacting in any way. And so again, in person and even on TTS, you can kind of get faster and faster through some of these turns, because as long as people aren't interacting with each other and it doesn't really matter, then you can just do things simultaneously. So let us, and sorry, I'm gonna mark this. I want to get the boat out because I don't want to keep my boat for this turn. So what I'll do is I'll let the boat burn, and that goes away. And Manoah says, you know what, Hellas, I'm not a fan. I don't like what you've done here. I told you that this is my city, and I've seen what's happened when Assyria and Hatti are punching each other, so I'm going to stop you building this city. Now, how would you do that? Like, this is 4 people to 6. Well, to build a city, you need 6 people, right? And so all you need to do is send 2 people, and if you had metalworking it would only be 1, but 2 people. Come on, grab it. Here we go. I'll send 2 people and send it here to try and stop that. Now, why does this work? Have a think. You got 6 people to 2 in combat. Athens would hit first and punch Minoans, and so it would be 6 to 1. But that's still a combat situation, which means then Minoa would hit back, and it would be 5 Athenians to 1 Minoan, and then the Athenians would punch back and kill the Minoans. So you would have 5-0. But you can't build a city with 5 people, and so this city site can only hold support 1 person, and so the Athenians would lose 4 more people. So you, in essence, Minoa is sacrificing 2 people for Athenians to not build the city and also to kill 5 people all up. So this is always something you have to really be careful about, especially when you're trying to build a wilderness city. All right, so let's say Egypt is trying to build a wilderness city here, right? Or even better, when you're playing Carthage, you try and build a wilderness city here, and that's 12 people you have to put. Well, anybody, especially if you get deep water, astronavigation, anyone can just send 2 people here, and then all of a sudden you've now lost 11 people, and it is very, very painful, and it's one of the more triggering things in this game, but you just have to pay attention to it. Anyway, so Minoa's going to keep going, and then we'll build a city here. So we're going to sacrifice to defend there, and we'll build a city here, because we like the idea of building a city and using the city money, the treasury, to build our boats rather than sacrificing people. And we'll go here and here. Yep, this looks beautiful. This is actually an awesome start for Minoa. I like it. If I ever play a Minoa game, I'm definitely going to do this as my first turn. And we'll spread out like this. So that's Minoa done, Egypt's done. Who's next? Assyria, then Hatti. So Assyria now has to go. So Assyria went there as a show of good faith there. And we'll just keep spreading out up. And yeah, we're happy with that. I can do that if we want. You generally wouldn't necessarily spread so much like this because it's very vulnerable to attacks. Unmark. And this would probably go there. And realistically, it would probably be like this. Because 2 means you actually have to do it, whereas if it's 2 to 1, it's just a free kill in essence. And you don't necessarily want to just be that weak. Now Hatti, he's going to build cities next turn, so he's just going to keep spreading out. We'll go like that. Yep, I like this. We'll build the city next turn because Hatti doesn't need to build boats for pretty much any reason. And we'll go like that, and let's go like that as well. Alright, so that's that. Next, there is a combat, and as I said, so Athens hit once Minoa hit once back, and then we'll just do a combat, and it should be 5-0. But then when we go next, so no city conflict, population surplus, big surplus here, and they can't build a city, so these guys are going to eventually die. Can build a city for Minoa, so we'll grab a city, and what you do is just throw it down. So in person you take off the people and build your city. In TTS it does it all for you. I'll show you that here. So Egypt, building a city like that, and so I'll go burn population. So 4 more people died here, and those guys went back. Next, everyone's passed, and so here you go, city support. This is where you need to feed your cities. So the 2 people who have cities are Minoa and Egypt. Minoa needs 2 people, has 4 people, so passed. Egypt, well ahead, has needs 1 city support, which is 2 people, has 10. Beautiful. Egypt's smashing at this game. Now let's do some cards. So people actually have cities now, so you can see one city each. So there's going to be one card each. So Minoa, so in terms of order, it always goes city, order, and then AST. So Minoa gets the first card, so in person I would deal out one of the ones, and then Egypt I would deal one of the ones. The way at the start of the game, the way this is shuffled is the first, depending on how many people, so there's 5 people in this game, so the first 5 cards can't be calamities, and then the next set of group is the tradable calamities, and then after that is the non-tradable at the very bottom. So you can get probably 3 to 4 turns of trading before you hit your first calamity in general. Now 9-player, where you have minor calamities, it's very possible that after the first kind of dealt a turn of cards, where let's say everyone gets so there's no calamities in the ones, but let's say once there's been 9 twos been dealt out, it's very theoretical possible that it's practically possible as well that the very next card after the first 9 is a minor calamity. Anyway, no one has enough money to purchase because no one's got any treasury at the moment. No trade, because trade requires at least 3 cards, and there's only 2 people with 1 cards. And so what do they get dealt? So Minoa got an ochre, and Egypt got an ochre as well. No calamities, because there's no calamities in the ones. And no tech purchases, because no one's got any money at the moment. Everyone scores, because there's no advances in the, no requirements in the Stone Age. Now, turn 5 moves forward. Everyone needs to build at least 2 cities to keep moving along, except for Minoa. Minoa can stay on 1 city for 1 more turn, or no cities even. And as a reminder, once you get past the no requirements, if you don't have any cities here, you will go backwards. So let's say Hellas builds 2 cities, and then has 2 cities and moves forward, and then loses both cities, and they will then go backwards 1. It's like a minor regression. Scoring is done. Cleaning up is done. Tax collection actually does happen, and so Egypt, who's got 1 city, is taxed 2, and Minoa, who's got 1 city, is taxed 2. So if you've got 9 cities, you collect 18 tax, and the way tax happens is you go in your stock and you move it from there to there. So you take it from your stock and you put it into your treasury, and you use treasury to buy and upkeep boats, to buy technology, to do special abilities and fun things like that. Alright, next, expansion, census. Here we go. So now we actually have some movement happening. So the most persons would be Hatti, probably, because they've lost some from the beginning of the game by building a boat and building a city. They've lost some because they lost 5 people here from not building a city. They've lost some here by a combat, but they only lost 2, which from a double would be 4, so they're behind by 4 because they haven't built any cities. They've lost a bunch because of the fight in the beginning, and Egypt have only lost 4 from having a city built, or sorry, 6 to build a city. And let's see what that shows here. Yep, so Hatti is ahead, that's not necessarily a good thing. It has the most amount of people because they have not built any city, and they only lost the 2 people, the 1 person in the combat on that turn 2 or 3, whatever it was. Then it's Hellas, because they haven't built a city yet and they lost 4. Then it's Egypt, then Assyria, and then Minoa. Minoa are still behind in population on the board, but they have a city, and the city cities are usually better than population, because cities give you treasury, cities give you cards, cities give you progress on the scoreboard, because every one of these you need at least a certain amount of cities. So again, this is not to say it's a negative thing. It just says what order you're moving. Alright, so it's going to be Hatti, Hellas, Egypt, Assyria, Minoa. So Hattie's now first rather than Assyria. So now Assyria, if they really wanted to, can respond to anything Hattie does and fight them. But this is why negotiating with your neighbors is always important. So Hattie is going to go, alright, I'm just going to spread out. I'm going to build a city here. Assyria, we're cool, yeah, you're not going to go and punch me here. And if so, I will move these guys back and I'll give you back your land in essence. And Assyria says, yeah, I promise. Yeah, I'm a good boy. And we'll go 1, 2. We'll build a city here. And we'll build another city here. So we'll build 2 cities because we want to keep moving. And we'll move 1, 2 and 1, 2. And here we'll just keep spreading out. Something like that. And eventually we'll build a city here. And this will be our food. We'll have our cities here and here, and a couple of extra spare people just to hang about. Alright, who's next? So it's Hellas next. So Hellas could be moving at the same time. Hellas says, alright, Minoa, peace treaty, I don't want to fight you. I'll move back. I'll move out of your lands. And Minoa goes, yeah, you better. Or Athens could say, no, screw that, I'm going to smack you in the nose. But let's just pretend for now. They said we'll do peace. So let's build a city up here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll go a city here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll spread it just a little bit. 6, and then we'll go 1, 2, 1, 2. So we're moving back. Like that. And Athens might be polite and say, look, let me build my 2 cities and then I will float my way out. Otherwise, I will lose people or have to build a boat. And Minoa says, alright, fine. 1 turn. You're allowed there for 1 turn. And so Minoa is pretty stuck though. Like you can see, even after the doubling, that's all they got. They can't really do much about it. Alright, and Minoa, based on the position, I'm not going to actually move anything in Minoa. We're happy exactly where we are. We have our 1 city, we've got our population, and we'll build another city next. Next turn to keep moving on. So that's Hattie, Hellas done, Egypt, Assyria, and Minoa's not going to move. So let's go Egypt first. And Egypt says, as promised, I will build my city here. And I'll build another city here as well. And we'll have like a wall of cities. Jericho, we'll go there. We'll go here. And we'll leave 2 there. And then we'll just slowly backfill cities here. Now we're going to quickly double check that I have the population to support this. We're going to have 1, 2, 3 cities. And so I need 6 people to support that. So we're going to have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so 7 people to support 3 cities, to feed them in essence. And now I'm going to move forward because eventually I'll build cities here. 1, 2. Yep, that's fine. Go 1, 2. Keep 2 there. I'll put 1 back. Actually, sorry. Let's go here with that one. And then we'll go 2 here. 2 here, 2 there, 2 there. We'll go 1 there and 1 here. And I'll spread like this. There we go. That's everyone done. Next. No combats. No conflicts. Alright, build cities. Minoa's good. Egypt wants to build 2. As I said, they're smashing it. I almost want to finish this game, but trade is such an important thing. It's very hard to play this game just by yourself. Now, Assyria, because of what happened in the very beginning of the game, you can see they're stuck. They're 1 turn behind, so they're not going to be able to progress. Hattie will be able to progress because they kind of worked with their neighbor, and even though they're a little bit behind in population, they managed to lock in their border. And you can see a little bit of enhanced aggression can be okay as long as it achieves something. and we'll build the city here and here because Hellas wants to keep moving forward. And this boat from Manoa goes away because there was no upkeep paid. Burn. City's been built. Yep. Next. So city. So you can see here, Egypt needs 6, has 7. Everyone else has passed. This then updated. So Egypt's ahead with 3, but they get their cards last in essence. So when we get dealt cards, so that's here in person, what I would do is I'd go, alright Manoa, you get 1 card and I give you 1. Hattie, you get 2 cards, so I'd go 1 card here, 1 card here. So in essence, Hattie is getting the second 1 card in order. And so if you remember, like when we get to, let's say the 4s, right? If the 3rd card down, like once we've gone through this a bunch, is a calamity, it's the 3rd person at the 3 level that would get that in essence. If any of these decks run out, then in essence you get waters. Waters have no value, but to trade you have to have 3 cards at least, and so they enable you to trade. Anyway, deal all. No one has money. Next, trade. No one, like there's 1 person with more than 3 cards, so there's no real trade that's going to be happening. But let's have a look at what people got. So Manoa got 2 ochres, which is good. We've got an ochre. The other one was a clay, and then iron fish. Assyria has no cities, and so got no cards. Hattie has a clay and a paper. And then we've got an ochre and iron. So Manoa might be interested in some of those ochres in a couple of turns. Next, no calamities because they from the deck 2 onwards, and the first X cards, as in X is how many people playing, so the first 5 cards will not be a calamity. There's nothing to thing. Everyone passes. No tech purchase because no one's got any money. Alrighty, so now let's do scoring. So Manoa will keep going because there's no requirements. And then who has at least 2 cities? It's Hattie, Hellas, and Egypt. So Hattie, Hellas, Egypt, Manoa. Assyria does not advance, and so now here's the scoreboard. Alright, go next. Clean and shuffle. Tax collection. Egypt's got tax 6, has 3 cities. You get the idea. Expansion, census. So now it's Assyria's going first, then Hattie, then Hellas. Manoa has now jumped ahead of Egypt because Egypt built 2 cities. Next. And that's the order. So it's going to be Assyria, then Hattie. So now Assyria goes, yep, cool. I have to play nicely with all my neighbors. Let me just rub this out. Let's build my cities. I need to keep moving. And I'll build a city here. 1, 2. I'll place that guy there. I'll start backfilling back here. So I need to move my dudes like this. And we've got 1, 2. 1, 2. 2. And it's just kind of population management. Yeah, that looks beautiful. Alright, so that's Assyria. Who's next? Assyria, then Hattie. Hattie says, alright, cool. Let's build this city here. And do I want another city? No, I think I just want 1 city right now. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Hoping that that Manoa doesn't send a boat. Remember, I don't want a boat full of 2 people coming in and killing the city. So I'm just hoping. I'll talk to Manoa and say, are you cool? There's no issues? Yeah, cool. Because again, war, this sometimes is useful, but it's still got to mean you've lost 2 people, even if you put them behind. And maybe in further negotiations, you're going to have a problem. 1, 2, 1, 2. That looks good. 1, 2, 1, 2. And now let's keep spreading. So 1, And now we're going to have to build a boat to get some of this population moving. So let's do that. Hattie, we'll build a brand new boat and we'll use treasury for that. And also Hattie says that Assyria has been a little bit naughty with me throughout the game, and so I'm going to punch them in the nose. Do I want to punch them in the nose? No, that's a bit mean. Yeah, that's a bit mean. All right, so where we want to land? We probably want to land here, I think, just to get some of that population from up here down, because this feeds the people, but you need to get them to where they need to be. So let's have a think. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so we'll start here and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll pick up these 4 people. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he'll go there. And no, I only need 3 anyway. 1, 2, 3, like that. And he will end there. That's fine. Hellas is next. Now Hellas has a city and can move these people out. Hellas sees the position of Manoa, but has a whole bunch of land up here. So he talks to Manoa and says, alright, what's your plan, Manoa? And again, this is why going after people is always important. So Manoa's straight after. So Manoa says, I am going to take these islands right now, and then I'm going to put, a person here and here, etc., etc. And Manoa says, Hellas goes, okay, well, can I get I want to build a city here, so I need to build a boat. 1, 2. Alright. I like inventing stories in my head. I'm just like, what would this fictional Minoan do? So we'll pick up people and we'll drop them off here. And I might be cheeky and land a person here and just see what Manoa does. Because if Manoa wants to go here, they can't also stop here without being too far behind. So yeah, if I was playing Hellas, this is probably what I'd do. So we'll go 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me just draw that out. So 1, 2, so build here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. Alright. My wife's just come home, so forgive any noise. And I'll pick up these 4. And I'll drop off 2 here. 1, 2. And I'll drop off 2 here. 1, 2, because I want to build a city here. And I'm hoping Manoa is okay, because they can go from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they can stop this if they're not being too, angry with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we'll spread out. We'll go 1, 2, 1, 2. This guy's going to go there, and now we can pull these people out as we promised to Manoa. And we're hoping that agreement of not attacking means they're not going to try and do anything here. We pulled out as promised. And we'll go here, 1, 2, oops, and we'll stay there because we'll build a city here eventually. Yep, I'm liking that. Next is Manoa, and then it's Egypt after that. So Manoa goes, all right, cool. I'm gonna have to build a boat. Oops, sorry, wrong. 1, 2. So I did 2 there. We want to get people off this island. So we'll go like here. Oops. And mark. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's good. Yeah. So we'll end there. And we'll go these 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to build that city as promised. 1, 2. And 1, 2. Alright. And then Egypt. Egypt's last. And now it's just continue backfilling. So we'll go 1, 2. 1. And spreading down here. I want to keep it because I want to build a city there next turn. Go like that. That looks nice. Alrighty. Next, no combats. Population surplus. So this is where you build cities. Hatti builds another city. Assyria finally builds another city. Egypt builds one more city. Hellas builds a city. And Minoa builds a city to make sure he gets 2. Or he or she gets 2. Alright, perfect. Burn. Everyone's passed. Grab some cards. No one's got enough money because remember it's 15 to buy a 9. Or if you've got cards, it's something special. Trading. This is where you go trading, and I'll just demonstrate a trade. You probably wait one more turn to trade, realistically, but people have enough cards that I kind of do it. So we're trading open, 15 minutes is usually what we do. And so Egypt go, or let's say Minoa. Minoa says, hey everyone, I want Ochre, but I only got 4 cards. So it's going to be very difficult to trade these 2 plus something to get anything useful, because no one has, like, you've got 2 ochres here. Realistically you would want to trade that for 3 ochres to try and get a set of 4. So Minoa's probably out. Assyria can't trade because it's only got 2 cards. So realistically it's Egypt, Hatti and Hellas. And let's say Egypt, so Egypt's got 2 and 2 iron. Let's say Egypt wanted to start collecting fruit. So Egypt just makes a decision, you know what, I want fruit. Does anyone have fruit? There's no point in saying oil because he's the only one we've got 4 cities, and everyone else has only got 3, so that no one else has 4, but fruit seems reasonable. And Hatti goes, well, I got a fruit. Do you have any paper? And he goes, nah, I don't have any paper. Maybe I'll talk to Hellas. Hellas says, yeah, I got a fruit and I have a paper. Do you have any iron? So hopefully you guys can see. So Egypt has 2 iron and Hatti wants paper. So Egypt says, yeah, cool. I'm going to trade you 2 irons for your fruit and paper. Now, to make that a more kind of fair deal, I'll also give you a fish. Now, when you trade, how you trade is you have to trade at least a minimum of 3 cards, right? The very first 2 cards that you say have to be true. The 3rd card can be a lie. And they can be anything you want, including the tradable calamities. Now, tradable calamities, however, you can't mention it's a calamity. You can theoretically lie and say, I'm not trading you any calamities. That could be a lie. But you can't say, I'll give you 2 irons and a flood calamity. Or whatever a tradable one is. What's a tradable one? Treachery. What you can say is, I'll give you 2 irons and an ochre, and that ochre instead could be a calamity. So now Egypt and Hellas, they're not, necessarily... Like Egypt's not worried about Hellas. They're on the other side. So he goes, I will give you 2 irons and a fish for your fruit, paper, and ochre. Alright? And Hellas says, yep, that seems like a fair deal. Now Egypt, being the dastardly fella, so you flip them over, you put them on, not face up. I'm just doing it face up so you can see. Instead of the fish, gives him an ochre. And he goes, he. here you go. Remember, he has it face down. Here you go. And then he gives them, because he said he got a fruit, a paper, and then an iron. Sorry, and then an ochre. So fruit, paper, ochre. Traded back to Egypt. And so now you would look at your cards, see what he's traded, and he goes, "Oh, you dastardly devil. You didn't give me my fish. Ah, well, that's fine." And again, everyone's going to, trade efficiently or inefficiently. Don't take it personally. That's what I've learned. You don't take it personally. And regardless of what happens, as long as you've got two main things you care about, and that's all that you care about. And so now you can say to Hattie, "Hey, I now have that paper. I want that fruit. I can give you a paper, fish, and ochre, or I can give you a paper and 2 clay, or I can give you 2 clay and a paper, because depending on the order that you want." And so Hattie thinks about it and says, "Well, I have to give you 3 cards, so I'm going to give you a fruit, an ochre, and a clay. So can you give me your paper and a fish, because it's a high card, or maybe even oil for future turns, and then like an ochre, something like that." And he says, "Yep, that's fine." And so you can see here, this is the trade. On paper, the trade is better for Hattie, but realistically, we now have 3 fruit for 3 paper, and so 3 fruit is worth 27, and 3 paper is worth 18. But this is still better overall. So the board state, in terms of money, is better for the entire board by trading. This is still better for everybody to trade, because if you just stuck with your 1 cards, or your 1 individual, it's useless. And if you do that for the whole game, no one will have any technologies, and it's an absolutely miserable game. So trade, try and get those sets. It's overall better for everybody, and everyone has to get it's much more fun if people are actually progressing, everybody, not just one person, going ha ha ha, I'm everything. It sucks if someone's just so far ahead. Not for the person, obviously, but in general, it's just the kind of morale of the game. But it is fun if everybody's kind of moving forward and getting some interesting text and things like that. Alright, and I think that's it for trade. So next, no calamities happening because no one's got a calamity. Burn population, everyone's passed. Tech purchasing. Now, I don't think anyone theoretically... I don't think anyone would buy a tech. It's best probably next turn to start buying tech. And as for the scoring, you don't really need techs until about, turn kind of like 8 and 9. That's around when you start purchasing. Maybe it's turn 7 if you get a bit lucky. But let's just work it out just quickly. So I've got 27 in fruit plus 8. So 27 plus 8, that's 35. A set of 3 clay, which is 9. So 35, 44, 45, because this is just worth 1. 45 plus 3 is 48. So the cheapest ones are 50. So I am 2 points away, or 2 monies away, from buying mysticism as an example, or cloth making, or sculpture. So if I really wanted to, I could, but I'm not going to. Now I'll check my hand size. Everyone has a maximum of 8 cards that you can have at the end of every turn. So eventually, you can have like 15 cards, and you can use it to purchase tech, but at the end of the turn, you have to go down to 8. Now, if you remember, every rule I say, it can be broken. And so, for example, which one is it? This one here. Road building. Your hand limit can go up +1. So it means you can have 9 cards. But anyway, look, I've got 4 plus 4. 8 cards. I'm sweet. I've got some treasury. Next turn, Egypt is looking absolutely smashing. I reckon Egypt will be able to buy agriculture next turn, which is huge. Like, being able to buy agriculture on turn 7, that's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, Egypt's having the absolute best time of their life right now, and it's all because Assyrian Hattie had a very early war, which put Assyria down, which meant they were so much weaker for Egypt. Egypt capitalized on that straight away by seeing that there was going to be no pressure there, pushing up a little bit early, grabbing 2 city sites that they shouldn't have, and then backfilling. So that's like, this is like the perfect example of how this game is different. Whereas like so how this game is fantastic, but also how this game is changing all the time, because Assyria turn 1 could have moved straight down and locked these borders down, or could have not agreed to not move here to stop this city being built. And yeah, there's just so many kind of permutations, and what cards get dealt out is just could be different every turn. Anyway, we go next. Scoring. Looking here, everyone has at least 2 cities, so everyone moves forward. Advance. Next. Clean shuffle, there's nothing to clean. And now we are turn 7. And I'll save that now. I'll just save it here, just in case I need to come back to this for a 4th video, or 3rd video, sorry. Western Empires test game turn 7. There we go. Beautiful. Anyway, alright, hopefully that has been educational enough for everyone. The last thing we didn't really cover fully was attacking a city. I did mention in the very first video, but it's to attack a city, you need to get a bunch of people ready. You send them into a city. To start a city fight, it's 7 people. Text can change all of that, but in general you need 7 people against a city, and then the city converts to 6 units. It changes from a city to units, and then you do a normal fight. It's 7 people versus 6. And that's it. Alright guys, if you have any questions, please let me know, post in the comments, or send me a message direct. And I look forward to playing on TTS or in person sometime soon.